What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna be going over all of my Root of Nightmare raid loadouts for tomorrow, and obviously I'll be playing on Warlock, so these will all be Warlock loadouts, but a lot of the weapons, mods, and things like that, and the principles behind each loadout will make sense for any character, so this is definitely useful for anyone attempting the raid tomorrow. And can I just say real quick, loadouts are amazing. There's still a few flaws, but overall they're just so good. So first, a quick tip: if you don't want your loadouts to save with your weapons, you just want them to change your mods, subclasses, and things like that, you can go ahead and pull over a blue or a green weapon and equip it when you save your loadout. Then once you save a loadout, delete the blue from your character and account, and then there will be no weapon tied to the loadouts. But for me, I want my loadouts to have certain weapons for the raid. So starting off with the top two, these are my general just PvE builds. I've already made videos on both. The top left one is the strand one. Once again, already made a video. The whole suspend and hatchling with the strand weapons. Then the second one is my general purpose solar one. Once again, I made a video on this already with the infinite fusion grenades and all that good stuff. So moving on to my first one for just the raid. The one I'm going to be starting with is on being Osteo build. This one right here. And looking at my strand subclass, a lot of the subclasses in this video will be all the same. So if you see me on strand, these are what I'm using. If you see me on solar, they'll all be the same. And this one revolves around Osteo plus Necrotic Grip for that crazy combo. And I also have the auto-loading, Disruption Break, Blinding GL. Then I have whatever power weapon of choice just to burst down some mini bosses or things like that. And I'll be using this build for ad clear up until we get up to a boss fight, more than likely. And the reason is this build is just absolutely insane for both CC with the suspends and just damage to red bars with the Osteo plus Necrotic Grip. The way this can just simply chain forever once you get one final blow is crazy. And depending on how dense the ads are in the raid, this could really carry ad clear sections. And with exotic primaries doing 40% more damage to red bars and Osteo being arguably the best exotic primary in the game, it just really is an all-around super solid pick. And let's say I'm really liking the way Osteo is working in the raid with the ad density. Let's load out for boss fights where I swap over to solar. Once again, every single time you see solar in this video, these will be my fragments and perks. But now I have the hothead on, and now I swap over to a bunch of damage mods. So arc reserves for more ammo, an arc loader. Then I also have 3 arc weapon surges for 22% more damage, then 2 time dilations along with the font restoration to max out my recovery. Another thing worth mentioning is I'm running a powerful friends, and as long as 2 people on your fire team have this, it will guarantee for DPS that every single person will get like the max time of these surges. And the reason this is important is if you're the well placer and there's no other orbs made besides yours, you will not obviously pick up one. But if at least one of your teammates has this mod on, you're guaranteed to get your surges also. So for an entire fire team, as long as one person that's not the well placer has it, you're good to go. And obviously if you have more than one warlock, you're not sure who's going to be placing the well. So if you just have 2 people running that mod, you should be good no matter what. Now moving on to my other DPS builds. With the right column ones, these are all of them be solar ones. First one will be hothead with all arc surges, arc reserves, and things like that. Pretty straightforward, once again with powerful friends. And with this, I'll be doing that combo that I've shown off in multiple videos with the fusion grenades and swapping between hothead and Izanagi's burden. Then next one down the list will be one for void weapon damage. So with the two-tailed fox on, if we need a two-tailed fox, I'll be the one on my team using it. Also have a every waking moment, then a chill clip riptide. You can really use whatever special and primary you want. But now with this one, I have void surges along with void reserves and things like that. Now moving on to the next one down the list, it's gonna be pretty similar to just the hothead DPS one, but now instead of a primary in my energy slot, I have this trace rifle with volt shot on it. And the whole point of this build is when you use double special, this dates back to when primaries didn't have infinite ammo and they actually dropped primary ammo bricks. There's still a weird thing in the game where if you take off a primary, it technically increases your drop rate of special and heavy bricks, notably heavy bricks. And it's really hard to show off like how this works because it's just straight RNG, right? And when you want it to work, it doesn't, and when you're not really paying attention, you'll just have like 10 bricks on the ground. But overall, in a boss encounter, when you're killing majors and things like that, there is generally a way higher chance of getting heavy ammo to fall if you don't have a primary on for whatever reason. So that is why I have this on, and in this build you use the Volt Shot Trace like your primary. And if you wanted to, you could do the infinite special ammo finisher loop, but I think one of my teammates is going to be doing that anyways, so that's why I didn't put that on in this build. And the final one on the right column will be my Cataclysmic build. So once again, a lot of the same stuff, but now with solar surges, solar reserves, solar loader, and a lot of the other mods are the exact same. And this right column also works as just a general purpose arc DPS build, void DPS build, and solar DPS build. So for example, let's say I wanted to use a different void DPS weapon, let's say the GL. All I have to do is click on the void one and just change my weapons. And that is where the tip in the beginning of the video comes into play. If you make these loadouts with blue weapons, it will just change the armor and the subclass, and then you can change your weapons freely, which is probably what I will do after the raid is over, and just make 3 or even 4 all-purpose just damage builds without weapons equipped. I also have the same Cataclysmic build but with Osteo, so that is another damage build I have if I prefer Osteo to other weapons. And finally, the last loadout is going to be my jumping puzzle one. So it just swaps over to an eager edge sword with a lightweight weapon and 100 mobility. I nuked my vault going into this DLC, so my armor setup isn't the best. I'll probably try to replace some of the armor pieces in a build like this down the road. But 100 mobility makes you jump higher on Warlock, making it a little bit easier to get to places. And I still have ways to make orbs and take advantage of fonts and a bunch of resist on my chest piece, if there are, as in the said jumping puzzle. So those are my 10 loadouts, and looking at some other things I have on my character just in case. So in the connect slot, I also have Wither Horde. Depending on the boss fight, if I'm not really feeling Iznagi's Burden, I might swap over to Wither Horde just to throw more fusion grenades. I also have a Blinding GL, just in case if I want it in that slot. Then in my energy slot, I use almost all these weapons and builds. I have the Royal Executioner. I really like this fusion if I want like really good major Ackler, stuff like that. I also have a Vouchsafe just so I have a ranged primary on my character if I need it. Then in my heavy slot, I have the GL, which I'll be starting the raid with. I can swap over that for damage if needed, but I don't really see that being used for raid boss fights under level. But one that might come in clutch is the Retrofit, which we showed off in yesterday's video, where its DPS is not that far behind the Cataclysmic, and it will provide really good Ackler. And I also have the Hatchling Machine Gun for my opening strand Osteo build. If I want that instead of the GL, that will work really well too. So yeah, those are my 10 loadouts for the raid tomorrow. A lot of them are slight variations of each other, but the whole purpose is to swap between them very quickly without having to change every single surge on your boots, every single reserve, and things like that. And this last clip will be just going through all 10 of them, where there will be this screen right here, where you can screenshot all weapons with their perks, all armor pieces with their mods, along with the subclass and all of their perks / aspects and fragments. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the video. Let me know down below what you plan on taking into the raid. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.